All right, buckle yourselves in, kiddos. We're in for a bumpy ride. Michael Knowles can read? No, he just has people dictate it to him. I am so excited for this.
We are today at a public library, and I know what you're thinking. Ben, haven't you read all the books there already? Of course I have, but that's not why we're here. My producers have given me a stack of cards. They have a bunch of terms on them having to do with the government. I have to explain these to
Ben Shapiro has never read all of the books in any library, specifically because that would require him to read progressive literature.
Very, very small children in a fashion that kids can understand. So we'll find out how this is going to go. This video is sponsored by our friends over at Conservakids.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Wow. You're very...
Hey, guys. Why is he talking to them like they should know who he is?
Well-behaved children. All right, so I'm supposed to teach you about things today. So get ready.
Yay?
Yay?
I've seen my mom look at him on Facebook. She said he was a very smart guy.
This kid does not look like he believes Ben Shapiro is a very smart guy. This is the most deadpan looking kid I've ever seen in my life. This is a kid who would get left home alone and would make all of the traps and feel absolutely nothing as human beings walked into them.
You think he is?
Well, now that I've met him, maybe.
Freedom. Okay, freedom.
Maybe he's smart, I guess. I don't know.
Definition?
Oh yeah, give me a definition. Go for it.
America.
Definition of freedom is America. Okay, that's actually, okay, I kind of like that. I'm with you. America. Okay, so
America.
freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to make good choices and have those pay off. A lot of people...
Freedom is the ability to make good choices. What? It's very interesting that the conservative definition of freedom is often deliberately ignoring the conditions in which you exist, right? Like, for some people, for example, living in extreme poverty, right? Maybe a good decision would be to deal drugs because that would get them more money and therefore get them out of poverty, right? So in like the situation, in like the worldview of Ben Shapiro, he's just saying gibberish. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because it doesn't take into account external circumstance. Yeah, freedom is the ability to make good and bad decisions. And I would also say freedom is the ability to make bad decisions and still like not be coerced by the situation, by the surrounding environment that you're in.
People kind of think that freedom is you get to do what you want. So if you want to run into a tree, that's freedom.
Eat.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't eat people like that. You don't have freedom to eat people. Cannibalism is bad.
Well, Ben Shapiro, I thought you were a libertarian. I thought you were a libertarian, Ben Shapiro, and here you are trying to infringe your personal morality onto me. What if I find someone who's willing to give up a part of their body so I can eat them, okay? What if I walk up to some homeless person and I'm like, hey, I'll give you $50 if I can take off your pinky. And what if they agree to that? That's freedom, okay? That is clearly freedom. Jesus.
What that's called?
It's called cannibalism.
My mom and dad told me I was gonna meet Ben Shapiro.
And did you know who he was?
Nope.
Government. Okay, so who has an idea about government? Go for it.
I don't.
Government is what takes all of your money and gives you very little in return.
That is not true.
God
Okay,
damn it.
that's kind of true. It depends on the kind of government.
Taxes are for.
Yeah, that is what taxes
Hey,
are
Mango
for,
Man
but,
one.
but taxes are theft, children. The reality is that government is necessary so that people don't hurt each other, so that people don't...
Eat people.
You mean another way of saying that, Ben Shapiro, would be that some form of government is necessary to infringe upon the freedoms of people living in a society in order so that, you know, people don't eat each other, right? Like, it is technically an infringement on my freedom to, like, basically tell me that I can't murder people. That's an infringement on my freedoms. I am able to do less as a result of that, right? You're taking away that ability from me. But it's for the greater good, so that everyone can be free of the threat of, you know, randomly being murdered. That's kind of the idea, right? I would argue that similarly, there are other scenarios in which a government should step in to enable you to pursue your freedom to the greatest possible extent, right? Like, say, making sure you don't starve to death, making sure you have housing, etc. These are fundamental needs that you have that by providing it to everybody, everyone is then able to make decisions freely.
Murder each other. Right, so people don't eat people. That's right.
Yes.
You do need a government to prevent people from eating people. The Constitution. Who knows something about the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so the Constitution. Okay, the Constitution is the document that lays out the list of rules for what the government
I love that even while talking to children, he can't talk slowly.
can do and what the government cannot do. So the Declaration of Independence is 1776. So right as we're founding the country, right as the founding fathers
Government's not bad. The state is bad. I think there's a difference between those two things.
are founding the country in the Revolutionary War. We fought a war against Great Britain in 1776.
Okay, maybe you do know a lot.
What was that?
And talk okay, maybe you do know a lot. And talk fast.
See, kids are more easily bamboozled by the talking fast method of delivering information, because by talking fast, he projects the air of knowing a lot about these topics. But this kid kind of sees through Ben Shapiro a little bit.
Yeah, I do talk fast. But you guys can keep up. You're young.
I do run pretty fast.
I'm sure you do.
I run very fast.
Let me tell you, I don't worry about talking too fast with kids because my kids wipe me out. My kids tire me out. Okay, the president.
Oh.
Okay. Who knows who the president is right now?
Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden.
I'm with you.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden.
Yeah, unfortunately, Joe Biden. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're all Bernie voters. They're all Bernie voters.
He is the best. He was better. Don't insult the president because he will come and attack you.
Whoa.
Hey now. Yeah, he's way off base about that.
Taxes. Okay, do you guys like taxes?
Taxes are fees that you have to pay for your houses.
Well, yeah, it's not, there is.
For your houses. You know, all those people who own multiple houses.
Air conditioning and solar.
Right, you have to pay taxes on like everything.
Yeah,
Like
watches,
everything. Except
electricity.
not on your income in Florida, because Florida's amazing.
Electricity.
Right, so taxes are, the government takes a part of.
Because Florida's amazing, says Ben Shapiro, still firmly believing that if you want to escape climate change, you can just sell your house.
The money that you spend, or the money that you earn, or the property value of your house.
Spend it on useless stuff. What about debt?
Mostly, yes. I mean, they're supposed to spend it on things like the police. They're not supposed to spend it on just random projects.
I want to hear Ben Shapiro say that Florida's amazing in like 50 years when Miami is practically unlivable because of rising sea levels.
Or silly things that they have in their head, and they tend to spend it on kind of silly things very often. But as you get older, you will realize how little you like taxes. Taxes are very, very annoying.
I already think they're terrible.
Alrighty, let's see what else.
Yeah.
Quantitative easing.
What?
Wow, who put this one in here?
What is that?
All right, are we really gonna do this?
laughing?
We could do this. Okay,
No.
so yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Everybody's laughing.
The reason that they're laughing is because this is super duper complicated. You know what a dollar is, right? Y'all
It's not that complicated.
use used dollars before. How about Monopoly money? Have you guys ever played Monopoly? Right? Okay.
My mom and dad in it.
If you guys went to the store with Monopoly money, could you buy anything?
No.
No, you couldn't. Why not?
Because it's fake.
Because it's not real money. There is an agency of the federal government. It's called the Federal Reserve. Okay, the Federal Reserve controls how many dollars are out there. If they just print a bunch of dollars and then they just give you those dollars, it turns out they didn't make you rich. All that happened is that your dollar now doesn't buy as many things. If the Federal Reserve just
But you have more dollars, Ben. So on the whole, you have more value. That's the point of quantitative easing. Ben Shapiro speaking out about quantitative easing, something we've been doing to stimulate our economy for like the past 30 years.
just makes $1,000 and gives it to you and gives it to everybody, you can't buy an ice cream bar with $1 anymore. Now the ice cream bar is going to cost like $1,000. Okay, that's what quantitative easing is.
Can you explain to me the concept of quantitative easing? Go.
I forgot.
So guys, you just learned more than you will in all of college about how the government works. So one of the questions...
That's not true. And I went to college for an English degree. I learned way more about politics from actually going to college and getting an English degree than what Ben Shapiro tried to explain right there. Jesus.
that I frequently get asked is, how do I talk to my own children about conservative values and the things that matter? And my answer is Conservakids. Conservakids brings you books like Home of the Brave, for example, in which they discuss things like American values and American history. They're beautifully illustrated.
Oh, Ben Shapiro, don't pretend like you would want women in the workplace. Come on.
They're really well written, and they have values that you can feel comfortable sharing with your children, which is the most important thing. There's so many forces out there.
Yeah, it's so... The most important thing isn't that your kids get educated. The most important thing is that you're comfortable with what they're learning. Jesus Christ.
That are seeking to twist what kids think. There's so many people out there who want your kids to believe things that they really shouldn't believe, who want to take control of your child's education away from you. Not so with Conservakids. Conservakids is the way that you can teach your kids about the stuff that matters. They bring you all sorts of...
Okay, so basically this is just a way to, like... This is basically one long ad for, like, homeschool parents to sign their kids up for this indoctrination course. Okay.
Beautiful books. They have a great variety, a great selection. Check them out today at The Conservative. All sorts of beautiful
just real quick, why does this girl look so, like, nervous? Not like she is not like, we can do it. She's more like, really? I'm on the cover of this goddamn book? Real America is building a lemonade stand in the middle of the street during a parade? Okay.
Books. They have a great variety, a great selection. Check them out today at theconservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. You get 15% off when you use code 15Ben. Again, they just make great materials. They're safe for all your kids. Not just safe, they're
the Tuttle
virtuous
twins?
for you.
Wait, who are... That's familiar. Oh, this looks terrible.
Hey parents, kids like us have a problem, and it's one that you can help solve. But most parents aren't even aware the problem exists. Here's the issue. Most schools today aren't teaching young kids some really important concepts, like how the economy works, or what our rights are, or the definition of true laws.
The definition of true laws? Yo, this is some cult shit. You know, they're like, there's a secret set of laws. All the other laws are fake.
Before you were
Bruh.
born, schools often taught the principles of a free society. But not anymore. That's why our parents have us read The Tuttle Twins.
Oh my god.
These books teach children about economic and civic truths that we need to learn. And there's nothing else like them in the world. Each book covers a different topic, helping us learn how the world really works. For example, these books teach kids things like how the
QAnon. How to break a union. How to enlist your nearest Pinkerton.
free market is the key to prosperity, the history of the
How to
money we
ensure
use,
them brown
what our
folk don't
rights are,
vote.
why we should protect them, how kids can be entrepreneurs. I definitely want to be my own boss someday, and these books will help. Kids like us absolutely love these books. Maybe because they don't treat us like little children. Instead, they help us learn important ideas and develop critical thinking skills. Chances are your kids are missing out on learning these things, especially
Like, in a way that's fun. Like, how many workers it's okay to have your Pinkertons kill to break a strike.
in a way that's fun and enjoyable for the whole family. And even better,
How to avoid Blair Mountain 2.
when you buy this set, you also get the awesome activity workbooks for free! Now listen, there are a lot of crazy ideas out there, and you need to prepare your kids. Yeah, if you want to raise a free
This just looks like... I'm sorry.
of crazy ideas out there, and you need to
This just looks like a weird QAnon compound where, like, these kids have never seen the light of day.
prepare your
They're
kids.
secretly, like, half a mile deep in, like, a reformed missile silo that functions as an end-of-the-world bunker.
Yeah, if you want to raise a free thinker, you're gonna need something that teaches about freedom. So purchase your books now! But be careful, your kids will learn ideas that many adults don't even understand. It makes for some really interesting dinner conversation.
No child gives a single fuck about interesting dinner conversation. Jesus. What have they done to these kids? Yo, their dad better have bribed them with like a Nintendo Switch each for this.
Those kids are cute, but I bet yours are cuter. And if
She just died inside. This is actually the moment her young heart died. God. Just the screen cap.
imagine how much they'll enjoy the books. So what are you waiting for? Click the link and grab your set.
This, by the way, is the video that's on their official website. This, if you go to TuttleTwins.com, that's the video. Underneath are your kids being brainwashed. Holy fuck.
To get for your kids, theconservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. 15% off with code 15Ben. Okay, go for it.
What do you
Damn, should have gone Ben Shapiro. Free marketing advice, okay? Give them only 10% off, but use code Ben10, all right?
think about like
Free.
superstars and athletes talking about politics?
So everybody in the country gets to talk about whatever they want to talk about, but athletes and superstars generally don't know anything about what they're talking about when it comes to politics. When LeBron James says things, that doesn't mean he knows things. Yeah,
Will you ever be a president?
you know, all the presidents are now 100 years old, right? Like Joe Biden is really, really old. Joe Biden is 79 years old. I'm 38, which to you guys seems like super old, right? Like, no? Okay, good. That's true.
42.
My dad's
My
52.
daddy. My dad is 48.
I'll wait until my kids are grown up. I would never run for office while I have little kids, because I want to be home with my kids. My kids are super cute. I want to spend like a lot of time with them.
When is Ben gonna admit that he's gonna run for president?
If he wanted to be president, he would probably be it tomorrow, but he just talks about it. Raise your
The passive aggression in this child is incredible. It is incredible. Just real quick.
Time with them.
When is Ben gonna admit that he's gonna run for president? If he wanted
to run for president,
to be president, he would probably be it tomorrow, but he just talks about it.
he just talks about it. He's not a doer. He's one of them. He's one of those dumb thinkers.
Raise your hand if you want Trump to be president. That means you as well.
I want you to be president.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Why are the people angry at the government?
Why are people angry at the government? Because sometimes the government tells us to do stuff the government shouldn't tell us to do.
Do you think homeschooling will ever be banned?
Not in Florida.
Oh, all these kids are homeschooled. That would explain a lot.
No, I think that there will be places that try to stop homeschooling. I come from a state called California, where monsters roam
Also, fuck homeschooling. Put all kids in public school. Jesus.
the streets, and garbage is strewn everywhere. It's a horror-scape. No, I'm joking.
Also,
they don't actually have
fuck private schools. Everyone go into public school.
Have real monsters, but it's a really poorly, the way that they run the state is really bad. So they have lots of crime, they have high taxes.
Like you think there is a monster.
Right, exactly. I came here because Florida is
you
amazing,
show
guys. You're
me
so lucky to be growing up in Florida. Florida's amazing.
America is the best, but Florida's really hot. There's a government
Yes, Florida does suck, young child. Don't go there.
do.
What does the government do? Okay, so there's various kinds of government. There's your local government.
What monsters are roaming the streets? Mr. Blast, when Ben Shapiro says monsters are roaming the streets, he literally just means poor people. Conservatives can think of poor people the same way like a normal person would think of Bigfoot or Bigfoot if Bigfoot had a knife and was also just a chronic rapist. That's what they think of homeless people,
Like where you live. And then there's the state government, like the state of Florida, and then there's the federal government. They all do different things. So your local government, they do the police and they do the firefighting. Okay, then there's the state government. The state government decides, for example, how money goes to your local public school, for example, or how taxes get paid and how roads get made and all of that. Then there's the federal government.
Animal.
The federal government, the Constitution says what the federal government can do. Make sure that there's an army and a navy and an air force and that they are able.
And a space force, Ben, your favorite president. He made that, remember? How are you leaving out the entire branch of the military created by the best president ever, Ben?
To protect us against people who would want to attack the United States. That's the biggest thing the federal government does. Yeah.
Do you think Biden actually follows his own law?
I think that Biden kind of makes up the rules as he goes. I don't think, unfortunately, he cares very much about the rules for.
Hey, Ben Shapiro, what would you charge Joe Biden with? You went to law school, so what laws do you want to charge the president of the United States with breaking?
Being president, I think he just tries to do whatever he can do. And then he hopes that nobody stops him, which is not a very good way of being president. And that's why the founders were really smart. The founders created a system where there are people who can stop you if you break the rules, which is really important.
Yeah, that was never a thing in governments before. Nothing before the United States. There weren't laws. It was just pure anarchy. And then the founding fathers arrived like sea foam from Athena's teats and created the perfect society. Ben Shapiro is the dumbest man. He talks his only ability is talking fast, but when you actually think about any of the shit he says for longer than a second, it all falls apart. It just crumbles to pieces. Yeah, no, laws didn't exist. Don't worry about it. Don't look into any king or kingdom. Don't look into any history at all. Don't look into the Roman Empire. Don't look into the history of English common law. Don't look into any of that shit.
Do you think China purposefully caused a pandemic?
I feel so bad for these kids. I feel so bad for these kids. Because their parents are at home saying shit about, They're probably saying slurs about Chinese people. And they're like, yep, China did this to us on purpose. It's a viral pandemic attack.
I think that China purposefully covered up a pandemic. It probably started in a laboratory in China, and then it got released, and then they pretended that it was not their fault, and they didn't know what was going on, and they lied.
Bitch, the United States had literally months to react from, like, the initial outbreak. We literally had months to react, and we didn't do anything. We didn't do shit. Wuhan had a goddamn, like, water park party, like, a year after the outbreak, and they were fine.
Lied a lot, and then it got out and killed a lot of people.
Do you think the Supreme Court will overturn Roe versus Wade?
Golly gee, I hope so.
I think the Supreme Court will not overturn Roe versus Wade, unfortunately. I have a feeling that the Supreme Court is going to change the rules of Roe versus Wade, but that doesn't mean they're going to throw it out completely. They're going to do what they always do, and they're going to be confusing.
You know, I hope. This is one of those rare circumstances, chat, where I hope the god Ben Shapiro's right. Because all of the... and I'm not lying, chat. All of the indicators I have seen from the current Biden administration seem to indicate to me that they are betting that Roe v. Wade is going to go down. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I think that the entire Democratic strategy of the establishment is betting on the overturn of Roe v. Wade in the next couple months, and that they are going to run on that for the midterms. That is what I am expecting, because Joe Biden hasn't gotten anything done. Not a single part of what he promised has come to fruition, except for pulling out of Afghanistan. Okay. And I think that establishment Dems are just cold-blooded, and they will run on essentially not offering any kind of economic support to anybody in the economic downturn, and we are going to be we're essentially going to be running a proxy political fight about, like, whether or not we get to have abortions in America or not. So that's my guess. That would be why I think a lot of establishment Democrats aren't too worried about the Build Back Better plan being completely just rendered inert. I think that they are planning to offer us exactly nothing, while promising that they're going to, if they get voted in, that they are going to codify Roe v. Wade in legislation rather than in the courts. So we'll see, but I'm not very hopeful about it.
About it.
Who is your favorite Democrat?
Wow, that is a difficult question.
I know, right?
A Democrat who's alive?
We finally...
Right now, Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia is my current favorite Democrat. He's preventing Joe Biden from doing a lot of bad things.
Do you think we can have a stable government again?
I mean, I think that the government is still pretty stable, is the truth. We should be grateful to live in a country.
Oh, you know what? Good on Ben Shapiro for not even more fear-mongering to these kids, I guess.
Where the government is this stable. The truth is that if you look at history and if you look at all other countries, there are a lot of countries that really don't have a stable government, and it's really difficult. We're so lucky to live in this country. We really are. So as much as we have problems here in the United States, this is still a fabulous country, and we're all...
Oh yeah, exactly, Mint Kuro. Don't take what I'm saying to mean don't vote for Democrats. What I am telling you to do is vote in better Democrats. Vote in progressive Democrats. And if you don't see progressive Democrats running, primary existing Democrats, like, give it a shot. It's really all we can do.
We should all really be grateful to live here. And that I guess is the thing that I would say to all you guys. You're gonna live, like, for a super long time, and you're gonna get to see all sorts of amazing things happen in the country. And the most important thing to remember is the harder you work.
Why would they do that? Because Vulcan Blackfire, if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, then women then it is do or die for Democrats. They have to run on a promise, and they can't run on like getting it through the courts again. They'd have to run on actually passing legislation.
The better your life is going to be. The better the decisions you make, the more responsible you are, the more you help other people, the better your life is going to be. In this country, which is the best country in the world, if you make great decisions, you're going to have an unbelievably awesome life. You're going to make a huge difference in the world, and you can make the world a better place.
Have any of you young girls ever seen A Handmaid's Tale? That's the future I'm gunning for.
On your head.
Oh, good question. Okay, so this is a yarmulke. Jews and Christians believe in the same God. We just have slightly...
Jews and Christians believe in the same God. Immediately one of those kids yells out Jesus. You know, something tells me Jews and Christians don't believe in the same things when it comes to divinity. It's interesting also that, and of course, like, very predictable that this would happen. Yeah, he doesn't talk about Muslims believing in the same God. Just Jews and Christians.
Different beliefs about the kind of stuff that we have to do, that God says that we have to do. So what this means is that Orthodox Jews who keep a lot of commandments, we keep this on our head, right? In the Bible, when it talks about the Israelites, that's the Jews. So the Jews eventually, now we're their descendants. So we keep the yarmulke on our head to remind us that God is around us at all times, so we should make good decisions, basically. Alrighty, guys. Well, you can go enjoy your day now because it's all over. So you're good. Thank you, guys. It's great to meet all of you.
If you want to take some of these kids home.
I have 3 of my own, so more children in my house. No, they've got parents.
Why'd they keep that bit in? Why'd they keep the bit in with the cameraman trying to sell Ben Shapiro children?
I feel like their parents should keep them.
Which is tougher, talking to kids about government or explaining government to Democrats?
Oh, by far, it's more difficult to explain government to Democrats because they're so certain about the things that they know, and those things are just wrong. Whereas kids just don't know things, and you can actually explain them to them.
Are you more or less hopeful for the future?
I'm way more hopeful for the future than before I did this, because those kids are smarter than the people that we have in Congress currently.
I only came today because I thought Knowles was gonna be here.
You know, it's kind of amazing what they can do with CGI these days.
I only came...
This person's actually 42 years old. It's true. They digitally de-aged a 42-year-old. Because I guarantee you, no child actually knows the name Michael Knowles. He kind of looks like 42.
Came today because I thought Knowles was gonna be here.
Yo, that was, unironically, that was incredibly entertaining for me.